The sound's delightful. It's perfect. Oh, I do like having people outside to eat.
Clarify a friend for free. 2-for-1 entry with promo packs of pepperami.
Ladbrokes, back in Scottish football on BT Sport.
Welcome back. We're at Tynecastle Park today as Hearts look to continue on this amazing run in front of their own fans. They're undefeated here in their last 14 matches since their return to this venue, and they've conceded just twice in their last 11 home games. Perhaps the champions are the team to destroy those stats. Now, we can hear from Stephen Naismith at Norwich Loanee, who starts his 9th consecutive match in Maroon. He's been speaking to Emma Dodds.
We've had some very good performances and some very poor ones that were way below what's expected. But I think part of that does come with the size of the squad, but also the makeup of the squad. In terms of the young players, there's an inconsistency there that's always going to be there with young players, and that'll have played its part. But it's been a bit of a transition, but it's been very enjoyable, and I've definitely learned a lot.
You've scored in the last 3 home games. What would it mean to get one this weekend against Celtic?
It'd be good. It's a fixture they're playing against the champions, and at the moment they're streets ahead of everybody else, and they're the benchmark for the teams at the top. And I think Hearts as a club need to look at that and think from next year we need to be closer to them. And with the last performance at Tynecastle against them being arguably the best of the season, it would be nice to replicate that.
32 points is the difference between Celtic and Hearts. How do you look at that? I mean, is it a fair assessment of where the clubs are at and the different places the clubs are at?
I think it is. Celtic have, since the managers came in, he's first of all gave a lot of the players that were in the squad a lot of confidence and probably pushed them onto levels that they weren't achieving beforehand. And for Hearts, it's the total opposite. There's been a change, and it's now about trying to take their small steps to put the foundations in place for next season to give a better challenge.
Your loan deal expires in the summer. You're contracted to Norwich for another year. Where do you want your future to be next season? It's
a tricky one because Norwich hold the power. They've got me contracted for another year, and it's one where we'll sit with Norwich and we'll see what's best. I think they went down a different route of younger players, trying to bring them on and move them on from there and generate some money that way, which is football. But on the other side of that, I signed a contract that if I need to see it out and hopefully fight for a place in that squad, then I'll sit and I'll happily do that.
If the option was to return to Hearts, though, given what you've experienced since joining in January, would that be an option that you would entertain?
I definitely would, yeah. I can't say high enough things about my time at Hearts, from having a small insight in how the club's now run, from the people at the top's fantastic, to pushing every boundary possible, from the stadium to the training facilities, and hopefully next season to the squad. Then why would you not want to be a part of that?
He's made it pretty clear Norwich have the power in terms of his future. He's going to be an expensive acquisition at the end for Hearts. You would guess if they get him, he would be one of their top earners. Is he worth that money at the moment from what you've seen so far?
I would imagine that he would be the top earner. In terms of, is he worth it? Do you know what? I think there then needs to be a siege shift in terms of the way they play the game, because to get the best out of Stevie Naismith, you've got to try and get him into the game as much as possible, and in particular away from home, as we've already spoken about. Kyle Lafferty and Stevie Naismith are 2 top quality players, but they need to play a style which gets the best out of them, and at the moment I don't think they do, in particular away from home.
Is there any future at Norwich for him?
No, and I didn't agree with him when he said Norwich are trying to going down a different route, bringing younger players on. He wasn't good enough to get in the team. James Maddison emerged, and Wes Hooland plonked on the bench there. I don't think he has a future at Norwich. I think I'm a big fan, or I have been over the years, of Stephen Naismith. When he went to Norwich, I thought great signing. He will do well. I think he's lost that little bit of sharpness which is required, which is, you know, had throughout his career. I think he's lost that now. In terms of Hearts, again, I thought a good signing, hasn't lived up to expectations. That's the truth.
Would you keep him?
Would I keep him?
In a word on
No.
Okay, let's hear from the Hearts boss, Craig Levein. Maybe he'll say the opposite. He's with Ailey.
Craig, 3 changes to your team today, and it looks like a move to a back 4. Can you talk me through it?
I don't want to give anything away. Yeah, we are. We're going to back 4. We're going to play the same way as we have done the last twice against Celtic, which won't be a surprise to them. And I'm hoping we can come up with the goods today.
It was hugely disappointing the last time we saw you up in Aberdeen. Has there been much talk since that game, and in terms of getting the players back on course for this one and ending the season well?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about our away form. Our home form's been excellent, and the size and the nature of the game, I expect us to be 100% at it. In fact, I know we will be. But Celtic are a difficult side to play against, and you know, off the back of winning the league last week, I'm sure that they'll to get to the cup final in that condition.
You are back at home, where you have had so much better success this season. It's a cracking day outside, and I'm sure you just want to end this season well, build some momentum towards next season.
We just want to win today, and if we can see if we can win on Wednesday and Sunday as well. That's the intention.
Give something to the fans.
Yeah, of course. I mean, our home performances have been good. The guys and girls who bought season tickets, I'm sure have been reasonably happy with what they've seen, and we've spoken about it at length. But I'm hopeful that we'll get another performance like that today.
And just a quick word, the very sad news yesterday of Sir Alex Ferguson's health. What was your reaction when you heard it?
Shock. I mean, he seems almost indestructible. So it was a great shock to hear that he was ill. And everybody here at Hearts is just hoping that he recovers, and we see him back watching football matches.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Thank you very much, Craig. All the best today.
Thank you.
Once again, we echo those comments from everyone here at BT Sport. As Ailey rightly mentioned, Hearts away from home, not good enough. Hearts here have been excellent, undefeated in the last 12 league games, 14 overall if you include the cup games as well. And they need to find a way to reproduce that form home and away. Why are they not doing it, Michael?
Well, that's the secret. If they can, not even recreate, if they can just get a little bit better away from home, when you've got such a phenomenal home record, then they'd be a lot closer to those teams that are challenging for second.
It's going to be tested now.
Yeah,
Celtic then
it will do it. In terms of how do you do that, as I said already, there needs to be a mentality shift in terms of how they play away from home. At home, it's a different kettle of fish, because you listen to the atmosphere, the crowd are right on top of the opposition. It's an intimidating place to come for opponents. A difficult game today and a difficult game on Wednesday. If they can stay undefeated, that'll be a great record.
At least the fans are sticking with them here. Certainly at Tynecastle, they've already sold 10,000 season tickets for next year, which is big news, good news for them.
It is good news, and I think it's fairer to judge Craig Levein next season after a transfer window. I think he's done a good job, I do, in terms of stabilising the club. They've had Murrayfield, taking over. Ian Castro, Craig Levein held his hands up, said I got it wrong, and then he stepped in. I think a top half finish is a good finish.
You mean to say, for example, that he needs a transfer window? I mean, he's had January, he's had 8 transfer windows beforehand.
And his transfers in January, or the players he's brought in, I think have done all right. Mitchell, Naismith, Amangwa, and he's performed poorly.
Where are they? They're 6th in the table. Yeah. That's not good enough for Hearts. He's had the whole season. The manager was sacked before the league campaign started.
They've conceded the second lowest amount of goals this season. There are different ways to skin a cat.
You'll have to agree to disagree, Michael.
Finish higher up the league.
Just let me take that away. Just go and find out in the corner, please. There's a game to come. It's live on BT Sport next. It's Hearts against Celtic. Hopefully we'll make kick-off.
Ladbrokes, back in Scottish football on BT Sport.
My friends, that's who I lost before I lost myself. In this world, you will be torn apart by teeth or bullets.
I've lost loved ones too, but we can stop that.
Fear the Walking Dead, exclusively from BT TV. Catch up on the BT Player. Like getting your money's worth? Then enjoy a freshly prepared 99p mayo chicken, part of the McDonald's Saver menu.
Some warning signs you may be sleep poor, difficulty concentrating.
There you go.
You're hungrier than usual. You're needlessly irritable.
What?
You zone out. You're prone to cliches.
Don't cry over spilled milk.
You're clumsy. You're emotional. And that happens. A message to the sleep poor. Join the sleep rich. Try the Eve mattress with our 100-night trial. If you don't sleep better, we'll pick it up again for free.
We are connected to some of the most advanced technology the world has ever seen. We can choose from over 100,000 live sports events every year. Just like that. We are members of the world's favourite online sports betting company, and we gamble responsibly at Bet365.
You got any questions? I see you've discovered the course's Bluetooth infotainment system with
a 7-inch colour touchscreen. Yes, thanks.
And have you noticed the heated seats and the heated steering wheel? And with Help to Buy, you can drive away for £150 a month with 0% APR.
Really?
What is the turn down? To the club we go.
Celtic at Tynecastle, it is always a standout fixture. Hearts have a proud unbeaten record here this season, but after 2 defeats on the road, there are 3 changes from the side at Pittodrie. Dimitri Mitchell is welcome back after missing the last 2 months through injury. Joachim Adau, another January loan signing, comes into the midfield, along with boyhood Hearts fan Ross Callaghan. Kyle Lafferty has scored in each of his last 2 games against Celtic, but Harry Cochrane, who opened the scoring here in December, only makes the bench. From Tenerife to Tynecastle with another championship in the bag. Former Hearts goalkeeper Craig Gordon misses out through injury, while the only other absentee from last Sunday's 5-0 hammering of Rangers is Kieran Tierney. In comes Scott Bain in goals, who had the briefest of loan spells across the city at Hibernian in January. There's also a welcome return for Moussa Dembele after 2 games out injured. Callum McGregor, James Forrest, Tom Rogic and Odsonne Edouard all got on the score sheet last weekend.
Yes, we're looking at the Hearts side. Interesting to hear Craig Levein saying he was going to go with a back 4. Important in the back 4, playing against Celtic more than MD, with the performances of the fullbacks, Smith and Mitchell, who will have to be on their game. McLaughlin in goals again has been very impressive all season. I think the most important thing for Hearts' point of view, which we didn't see at Pittodrie, was they need to get not only support to Kyle Lafferty, but they have to get midfielders going further and beyond them to pose the Celtic defence problems. A game I'm really looking forward to.
I'm not surprised that Brendan's went with the strong side. He knows this is an intimidating atmosphere. I think Edouard's the one for me. I'd love to see him playing off Dembele. Will it work today? It has in the past. Big game for him.
Celtic recorded their magnificent 7th title 7 days ago in spectacular fashion, but they return this afternoon to a venue that brought one of the shocks of the season, and for Brendan Rodgers, who's only suffered 3 defeats in domestic football, 2 of them came here in the capital. There's Odsonne Edouard, who got the opening 2 goals against Rangers. Bobby Madden takes centre stage as the referee for today's game. The baking sunshine in Edinburgh. Conditions are perfect. We look forward to yet another enticing encounter between Hearts and Celtic.
I've just got to say earlier, Rory, that the atmosphere in the stadium is absolutely fantastic. It was always one of my favourite stadiums to come to in terms of the atmosphere. And again, with the new stand and the Hearts support, obviously hoping for a similar result as they got against Celtic in the previous home game. Atmosphere's electric.
Well, absolutely. Craig Levein will be desperate that this season doesn't just peter out, and the supporters here at Tynecastle will make
Threat has been detected. Threat has been detected.
I think unusually Celtic's back four look a little bit edgy, Yali, don't they? You know, whether it's lack of communication or whether it's lack of going to really be commanding and win the ball, but Ayer and Boyata in particular certainly looking uncertain this afternoon.
Well, and they certainly looked edgy the last time they came here, and that afforded the opportunity to Christopher Ayer to get into the Celtic team. Here goes Forrest though, he's fed it through for Dembele, who was onside. Good save though by John McLaughlin.
He should score. He should score. Forrest does well. He does really well. He's very direct. Plays the ball clearly onside. Good touch. Good save, but he should be scoring.
It's much better from Celtic, isn't it? James Forrest making his first real impact in the game. Dembele getting his first real impact at the top end of the pitch. Just cutting hearts open. Excellent play from Celtic, but good save yet again from John McLaughlin.
Cham, Lustig was at the front post. Rogic now on the edge of the area. Adahu sliding in. Hearts fighting for everything. This is a very different Hearts side to the one that we saw just over a week ago up in Aberdeen, as Adahu dispossesses Odsonne Edouard. Forrest, the last man back, just has to be a little careful. Bain being closed down by Lewis Moore.
This is the game we hoped for, Ali, wasn't it? Yeah. We hoped for a high-intensity game with a really good tempo, lots of aggression, goals. And we've got it so far.
It's strange, Stephen, because, and you touched on it, you know, they look a completely different force at home. Hearts up at Aberdeen, I have to say, I was extremely disappointed in the way they performed. That said, we're getting a performance from them in the opening 25 minutes that we expected.
And here comes Ayer, who likes to step up from his defensive berth. Back in position now. Scott Brown to Boyata. Fancy footwork not working for James Forrest.
He was very kind to his players, wasn't he? Let his players go to Tenerife for 4 or 5 days last week after their efforts of going and winning the championship, so that's good man management, I would say.
Naismith driving in and winning the ball back, unable to find Cowie though. And Tom Rogic remains on the Tynecastle surface. Lustig likewise, and Naismith came in with a bit of afters. All smiles.
Certainly playing on the edge, Stephen Naismith, isn't it? You know, he doesn't fully go through with the kick, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's been a little bit cheeky for me. He's going to have to be careful.
Don't think Scott going out for a meal after this one. Boyata to get things back underway. Edouard is unable to keep it in. Is the first goal that Hearts succeeded here in the first half, other than Eamon Brophy's effort for Kilmarnock. Some record their defensive performance at home this season. Here goes Callaghan. Mitchell came off Scott Brown, and will be another Hearts corner.
It's a good counter-attack for Hearts, isn't it? You know, winning the ball deep in your half, having that ability with Mitchell on the left-hand side, always wants to get forward, allows you to go and play in the counter-attack against good sides.
It's carried to take. Again, Berra's at the front post, it goes all the way through. Celtic defending with their hearts in their mouth there.
Fantastic ball, and I've got to say, real quality into the area in front of Naismith. Crying out for a tap in at the back post. Celtic got away with one there.
Boyata, Dembele on the move again. Looks for the ball into Forrest. Will be a corner. Came off Berra.
I just think Christophe Berra's starting position there was too high, allowing Dembele in behind him.
It's clever from Dembele, isn't it? You know, he's well aware of Christophe Berra's starting position. He knows that's where he wants to get to. With his running power and his strength, suits him.
Well, 6 goals in 8 games since that injury that just kept him out of the last 2 games. Suter. should get that. Leaving for Lafferty, in fact. Callahan then was offside.
What do you make of the pitch so far, Ali? I know there was talk of the Celtic players not being happy. Brendan Rodgers mentioned it as well.
I think that's a little bit embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. Surely you'll remember as well, that pitch for the second last or third last game of the season, I think is in absolutely fantastic condition. I remember playing in games a couple of games ago in the season, Stephen, with hardly a blade of grass on the pitch, never mind anything else. I know what Brendan's getting at, but come on, Hearts are well within their rights to do what they want with the pitch.
Dow's tackle was firm but fair. I think the issue was with the length of the grass. Didn't see many sprinklers out either. Oh, that's been missed, and here's Dembele. Can he finish? Almost, but not quite.
Again, it was nearly brilliant. Really poor defending, has to be said. It's a goalkeeper's ball all the way. Dembele does really, really well. Just too much on the lob, and Suter gets away with one.
It's just a little bit slack, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just taking that little risk. Just go and meet the ball. John Suter at times plays a little bit lacklustre. You know, the game looks too easy for him sometimes. That's a warning, Simon. Dembele's around about you. You've got to smarten up your play.
Well, the concern, I think, was that the pitch may slow the game down, but it has been fast and furious in the opening half hour.
I just want to know where we're going with this now. Should opposing managers phone the opposite manager just before the game to see what condition the grass was? Is this where we're taking it now?
I must say, Ali, when you mentioned about playing on pitches with hardly any grass, that was back in the 70s, may we add.
Strong, that's a bit strong.
It's absolutely every team's right to prepare a pitch how they see fit. That includes the dimensions and parameters. Naismith unable to thread that past Boyata. Well, down goes Rogic, fouled by Joachim Adau. Well, and a yellow card flashed in the way of the Angolan.
Rogic does well, uses his body, gets in front of Adau, but I'm not sure whether it's a yellow card or not, but maybe he get the yellow card for his reaction to the free kick being given, but it certainly was a free kick, of that there's no doubt.
Well, Celtic already champions, Hearts almost certain to finish 6th. People said that this game didn't mean anything, but it always matters when Hearts play Celtic, and James Forrest is down after the ball was won by Stephen Naismith. He's still down. Celtic continue. Brown out muscled by Adau, but then wins it back. In comes Dimitri Mitchell. Play on, says Bobby Madden. Naismith again. Now Callahan, play surges on. Celtic down to 10. Forrest is now back to his feet. And down goes Odsonne Edouard, and Bobby Madden's out with his card again.
It's a cynical foul, isn't it, from Callahan? He knows he's getting beat. He knows his team are up against it. Celtic have an overload on the opposite side of the pitch, so he had to make the foul.
It's a yellow card, Stephen, simple as. Edouard does very well cutting inside Callahan, who clearly brings him down quite cynically.
There's not a lot on that, is there, really?
Think so,
There's not an awful lot on that at all. I thought Stephen Naismith was turning into a tough tackling midfield player. But certainly not a foul there, no.
Edouard. Don't carry with the block. It comes back to the man on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. Here's McGregor. Scott Brown. McGregor again. Now Edouard. And he's isolated Michael Smith here. Still Odsonne Edouard. Good goal scoring form. Brown. Callum McGregor. Just too high.
Good play on the left-hand side here from Celtic. They don't panic, they take their time, create an opening. McGregor comes inside Smith and unleashes one with his right foot, which goes over the bar, but good play from Celtic.
I think he's probably one of the most improved players under Brendan Rodgers, Callum McGregor, you'd have to admit, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. No, I could not disagree with that.
It's the Stephen Naismith one again. I think Stephen Naismith is continually in contact with the ball, isn't he? You know, he goes in, wins the ball, not too sure what happens.
I think he definitely catches Forrest's ankle there, but I would have to say I think he goes to try and take the ball on the right hand side along to the left, and I think he's a little bit unlucky in catching him.
Well, certainly a sore one for James Forrest, and the Celtic bench were not happy at all with it. Made their feelings known to their counterparts on the Hearts bench. Fairly feisty.
Very enjoyable. We're getting a game that we're certainly looking forward and hope to, and it's one played at a great tempo and highly competitive.
It's been a very interesting weekend in the Ladbrokes SPFL, and you can watch the highlights tomorrow from 6:45 on BT Sport 1 HD. And straight after that, Dundee United against Livingston from 7:15, and that is the playoff first leg from Tannadice. Here's a Dow, straight into the path of Scott Brown. Forrest wasn't aware that Cowie was advancing, and Dembele fancied a bit of that. Just drops the shoulder. Looked to play in McGregor, but just overhit. There's an opportunity.
I think George Cowie will be counting his lessons there. I think he was just ball watching ever so slightly and let McGregor go on the outside of him, and a better ball and Celtic would have been in.
Well, big game on Wednesday night here. Edinburgh Derby, Heart of Midlothian against Hibernian from 7:15, BT Sport 1 HD. And have Neil Lennon's side back in action. What a game to finish off the league season. Hibernian against Rangers next Sunday.
The games we've had, Rory, since the split, I mean, fantastic. You got to say them, and we are sometimes quick to be critical, but the break this year, the split this year, has produced and is producing some fantastic games.
Well, that battle for second looks like going down to the wire, and where better to be than at Easter Road for that one. Of course, remember then, Aberdeen will be at Celtic Park on Trophy Day. There'll be plenty of twists and turns to come. It's a big midweek as well. Tuesday night, Aberdeen hosting Rangers before Celtic are at home to Kilmarnock. It's on the Wednesday, at the same time as Hearts play Hibs.
I've got to say, Stephen, 2 minutes ago, that's the second time we've seen it, and Celtic have been very clever with it. Berra's just getting caught again, maybe 5-10 yards, and that all it takes is in front of his other centre-half Suter, and Dembele's going in behind them.
I think it tells you all you need to know, that Dembele has almost played against Suter most of the first half.
Yeah.
He obviously feels he can get the better off him physically. You know, you're talking about Berra at times going wandering, then he knows he can run off him, so it's clever play from Celtic and from Dembele.
Lustig to Boyata. Lafferty was interested, and he'll get the break of the ball too, and he's got Lewis Moore alongside him. Callaghan in the middle, and he went for the cut back to Naismith. Celtic managing to scramble the ball out.
It's poor again from Boyata. Lovely ball into Moore. I just think he takes the wrong option there. He tries to find Naismith, but for me, the ball that he should be playing is across the face of the goal to the back post.
Naismith came short for Cowie. It's now lofted towards the back. Last touch off Ayer, and Kyle Lafferty will happily see that one out as he gets a little bit too close for his liking to the away support. Don Cowie will make his way over the other side. Well, watch out for John Souttar, looking to get in at the back post, because he's had a couple of sniffs. Had the ball in the net once. Hearts' fourth corner.
I've just been watching Ross Callaghan and Cham. They're pulling at each other, they're pushing, and Cham's trying to get in between Callaghan and Scott Bain, so Callaghan can't stop Bain from coming.
It's Cowie curled away from Lafferty. And now Edouard, as Celtic look to break, but Moore got in there. Dembele now. Moore has it again. Cowie back to the youngster. Diving headed clearance from Christopher Ayer. Now Rogic. Edouard in a race against Berra. Won by the 33-year-old.
It's a very clever ball again from Rogic, because he knows Dembele's probably not favourite to win it with Berra, but at the same time, look at them now, possession. They've got to throw in some, just level with the 18-yard box.
Well, Adau's certainly added some grit to the centre of that Hearts midfield.
I tend to agree with you, Rory. I think he's got a little bite to his play, hasn't he? You know, he's going about, he's almost like a little enforcer in there. He's going about making tackles, trying to break play up. He has to be careful though, because he has that yellow card. He has to make sure he doesn't mistime anything.
Lustig. Brown losing out to Callaghan. Now Naismith. Well won by Don Cowie. He didn't look favourite there. Lafferty glides past Scott Brown. Lewis Moore, he's been crowded out by three Celtic players. Rogic now onto Cham. Dembele advances beyond him. Michael Smith and Adau work together to sort out that attack for Celtic.
Previous attack there, you could actually just see Lafferty wanted to get the ball out his feet, another 6 inches, 12 inches of foot, so he could get the strike away, but he couldn't get out his feet.
Edouard. Hawks have it back. Adau to Berra. Lafferty cushioned it in, but Cham was first for ball. Oh, Willie Conquer in his potentially final game as an assistant referee. He's got to get his flag back.
Doesn't handle that well at all. Referee's assistant there, he's on his toes.
He should see it coming, shouldn't he, really?
Ah, he's poor vision from the assistant referee. They must see that coming.
Well, that's surely a foul by McGregor on Cowie, and the first Celtic player to go into Bobby Madden's book, who's been rather busy in this first half.
Cowie used his body very well there, backs into Callum McGregor. Yellow card.
Dimitri Mitchell, on loan from Manchester United. He did head back down to Old Trafford to get treatment on an injury he's been suffering from for the last 2 months. And towards Berra, who won the header well, but just guided into the arms of Scott Bain.
Again, we see good defensive play from a set play. Again, not too good defensively from the set play.
Bain. McGregor. Brilliant first touch. Dembele. Rogic. Well, he got the finish all wrong, but it was brilliant build-up from Celtic.
Yeah, lovely football and a lovely touch from Dembele. head on, which I'm looking forward to doing.
I'll tune in at full time. Ali McCoist will give it both barrels. Another intriguing 45 minutes. Celtic certainly have a fight on their hands, perhaps in more ways than one, as this Hearts side are really up for the battle, as they always are at Tynecastle.
I'll tell you the one thing, the boys were absolutely spot on at half-time with their analysis. What a great game of football we've enjoyed for 45 minutes, Rory, and hopefully we've got another 45 just like it.
It's a sore one for Tom Rogic. He's been in the wars a couple of times. Naismith's challenge. Head knock for the Australian.
It's fair to say Stephen Naismith has had an interesting first half. You know, some pieces of quality, some moments of madness. Still not yet been booked.
Well, he's never been one to hold back, and who'd have thought it? Those two, Scott Brown and Stephen Naismith, going for the drop ball.
That was great, actually. If we'd picked a player from each side who we wanted to go for that drop ball, it would have been the two of them, and they're actually having a quiet laugh to each other after it. That was quite amusing.
Here's Suter. It's won by Callaghan.
I think the challenge for Hearts in the second half, Ali, is can they get that tempo back up again?
Yeah.
Can they get that intensity back in their play as quick as possible and try and force Celtic on the back foot again?
That was the one thing that Celtic's previous trip to Edinburgh, which we spoke about briefly, when they went to Easter Road to play Neil's Hibs. I thought the intensity that Hibs maintained throughout that 90 minutes was exceptional and went a long way to them winning that particular match.
This is in Cham. Adow just getting his body back and allowing Suter to knock the ball out.
Don't know why he doesn't just knock it to Cowie.
Edward. McGregor knocks it back to Hudson Edward. Now Scott Brown, Olivier and Cham, and McGregor finds himself in a bit of space. Rogic was attacking that, but Suter clears. Brown's header for his midfield partner and Cham. High boot from Brown on Naismith. Straight back on with things. Moore knocks it off Lustig.
I think it's fair to say there's a little bit of mileage still left in this Stephen Naismith-Scott Brown duel, isn't there?
And you know something, as it sometimes happens, everything's happening just between them. The ball's dropping just between the two of them.
Lafferty to Moore. Naismith. Callaghan rises. Lafferty with a shove on Cham.
Again, I don't think it's a smart play from Kyle Lafferty, Stephen. I think, you know, the ball is, you know, in the Celtic penalty box. I think he should just be challenging there in the hope that it drops for one of his teammates.
Scott Bain just needs to get the ball in the right position for Bobby Madden. Got there eventually. Edward, good strength, and Rogic was making a decent run through the middle. Now Lustig. Rogic back to the Swede. Brown's header. Natural way, touched on by Naismith for Lafferty. It's the combination that can really get Hearts going, but left a bit of space, although it was covered well by captain Christophe Berra.
Celtic have started the half a little bit better than what they did the first half. You know, they're playing a lot more in Hearts' half. They're moving the ball a wee bit better, and Edouard and Dembele certainly looking lively.
Berra again winning the header. No foul by Lustig on Lewis Moore. Plenty for Bobby Madden to keep on top of in this second half. No Aaron Hughes for Hearts today. He is on the bench. Recent games they have been going with the back three of Berra, Suter and Hughes. This time changing it to a 4. There's the experienced Northern Irishman. 110 caps, most capped defender in the UK. There's Moore. Well, he didn't have much space to work in. Rogic now. It's a great ball to pick out. Dembele, can he finish? He certainly can! What a brilliant finish from Moussa Dembele, and Celtic and the champions are back in front.
I don't want to be critical of Lewis Moore, but he's got to play it down the line. The young man, he takes a gamble here. I'm not sure, I've got to be honest, I'm not sure Mitchell should be going by him in that position. He should be giving him a little bit of depth. But once he does go by him, it's absolutely imperative that Moore does not lose the ball. Good tackle by Lustig. This again is a superb pass and a top-class finish. It really is. He opens his body up and it's a lovely finish.
Moussa Dembele will get all the credit for the finish and for the touch, but the awareness and the passing ability of Tom Rogic is absolutely wonderful. But Dembele, that's why I valued it so many million. He's a top-class player. Kills the ball stone dead with his first touch, and then it's just a picture of composure, just slaughtered into the back of the net. What a wonderful goal by Celtic.
Well, Moussa Dembele moves on to 16 for the season. There's been further speculation, of course, about his future in this week. Celtic, Brendan Rodgers saying Hudson Edouard is almost the ideal replacement should he move on, but it's never been Moussa Dembele that has added to any speculation. He seems happy at Celtic. Now it's Edouard. Look at McGregor going down the outside. Callum McGregor, and it's just a side netting.
Smith does brilliantly. He does brilliantly because he's second favourite, but he keeps going. Lovely weighted pass. McGregor's favourite. Smith does just enough to put him off, but Celtic, last 4 or 5 minutes, been excellent in attack.
Well, Hudson Edouard has just gone down injured on the edge of that Hearts box. Lee Griffiths isn't on the bench this afternoon for Celtic. Scott Sinclair, of course, will be an option. He loves it here at Tynecastle, Scott Sinclair.
Doesn't it just show you, though, how quickly Celtic can take the game away from you? You know, they had that wonderful goal, and within minutes, they could make it 3-1. So that's a warning sign for Hearts. You have to stay switched on. Got to ensure you're on top of your game. This would be a blow. I think he's been good today, Edouard.
Yeah, so do I.
I quite like him, not as a lone striker, but playing as one of the three in behind. I think he's very good in there.
Yeah, just keep an eye on Edouard here. Came after playing in Callum McGregor. Will be the end of his afternoon. Shame for Edouard, who's been enjoying a run in the team.
There's that wonderful pass, isn't it, from Tom Rogic?
He's probably, maybe just about the only player that could have played that pass to the outside of his left foot like that. You know, he's capable of things like that, Stephen. We spoke about in the first half. He's got flashes of absolute brilliance. He really has.
I just think he sees the game differently at times, doesn't he? You know, he sees options, he sees passes, and you know what a replacement that is for Edouard, that Scott Sinclair.
Dembele on his way again. Searing pace. Left hamstring of Hudson Edouard that was causing the problem and ended his game prematurely. Ball's flying in there, but the ball will drop for Suter. Now Callahan. Cowie to Michael Smith. Hearts, who led in that first half and now have to come from behind. It's only under a fortnight away, the Scottish Cup final against Motherwell for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers will be hoping that Odsonne Edouard will be able to play a part. 2 league games to go until then. Berra to Mitchell. Now Callahan. Lafferty offside.
Just too keen, isn't he? You know, he's just got to buy his time a little bit more. He's got to be clever with his movement rather than just running straight. Just Darker's run a little bit.
Particularly when he's looking at, I think it was Lustig there, he can still stay goal side of Lustig and then nip in behind.
Well, off comes Lewis Moore, and he's going to be replaced by Danny Amankwa. Amankwa, who was one of a number of January signings. Rogic fed that through to Dembele, who goes down. Forrest struck it, and Rogic is adamant to Bobby Madden that should have been a foul.
I think it's more Dembele catching Mitchell, but again it's Tom Rogic. It's just that little pass, just slicing Hearts open with his awareness and the way to pass.
Yeah, it's not a penalty.
McGregor, Scott Sinclair, he's scored a hat-trick on this ground in the past. Champ. Forrest won it well, but could only knock it down into the path of the advancing John McLaughlin.
I'll tell you, you're talking about it, Stephen. I'll tell you right now, if Rogic doesn't decide to stay at Celtic, he will be a big, big loss, and he'll take some replacing.
Here's Mitchell. Neat ball into Naismith. Caught in 2 minds, I think, there.
He's got to hit it, hasn't he? You're spot on. He was caught in 2 minds, but he shouldn't have been. As soon as the ball broke to him, he should only be thinking about one thing, lads, and that's hitting that on target.
And they haven't carried the same threat second half, Hearts, have they? You know, they haven't had that edge at the top end of the pitch. Celtic have been better in the second half than what they were in the first half, and so far Hearts haven't managed to make any real dent in their back three.
We talked briefly about the options on the Celtic bench. Craig Gordon and Kieran Tierney absent through injury. No sign of Lee Griffiths. Also Charlie Musonda absent, with reports suggesting Chelsea not overly happy with the lack of his game time. Stuart Armstrong is looking to get back up to fitness, and he should be being introduced shortly.
I think the Charlie Musonda one's a little bit of a myth, Rory, isn't it? You know, he came up with such a great reputation, he was going to make such a great impact. I know Chris has been quite vocal on it, that Brendan just doesn't seem to fancy him or doesn't want him in his team.
Dembele.
No, it's an interesting one, Stephen. I was speaking to Michael and Chris before the game, and what we did his first game down at, I think it was at Rugby Park. You know, and to cut him a little bit of slack, I was watching him, and I thought he might be a type of Celtic player that would enjoy playing at home a lot more than away. But even that hasn't seemed to be the case.
Certainly made an impact off the bench in the Europa League game against Zenit St. Petersburg. Set up that Callum McGregor goal. And Suter just needs to be careful here.
Suppose on the flip side, when you see the form of Tom Rogic, you're not going to leave Tom Rogic out and bring in Jordan Massondo, are you? Let's be honest.
Well, and that's been the problem too for Patrick Roberts, with James Forrest has been flying all season. Really the surprise has been Scott Sinclair's lack of form that has seen him lose his spot on the left-hand side of that attacking three. Chance to do something today, but that's Michael Smith's ball in towards Naismith. Amankwa. It's well done by Luce.
He's done it again. He has done it again, Mitchell. He goes into that hole and leaves the left-back position completely and utterly empty. Instead of giving him a little bit of depth, he empties the area, as Hearts found to the cost for the second goal.
Well, they've got it all to do, Hearts, and a new rather daunting figure to face in the form of Stuart Armstrong. He's missed a couple of games. He's not really got back up to full fitness. That's the last 4 with a calf injury. Moussa Dembele has also just been on his way back.
And this is his moment, isn't it? You know, this is why he's a top-class striker. When that one opportunity in the second half came along to him, he absolutely delivered.
Well, the change looks to see James Forrest go into the central role. That's such a fluid formation that Celtic play. You'd expect front players to exchange positions regularly.
You just wonder if there's no injury there, Ali, with Edouard out, with Lee Griffiths being out with an injury, is he just protecting his one striker that's left?
That would be my guess. That would be my guess. And from Brendan's point of view, it would be a sensible thing to do. You obviously, Edouard's gone off. We don't know the extent of that injury. Griffiths the exact same. So, with a massive, or the biggest game in the lot for him this season now, the cup final, you could see him doing that.
Well, it's certainly been Celtic dictating the tempo in this second half, asserting their dominance. Hearts need to find some of that spirit that drove them on in that first 45. Berra just took that a little far. Armstrong now. Scott Sinclair. Sinclair. And Forrest! Oh, it's just a whisker wide.
With the best seat in the house for that, and it was brilliant. Well, 6 inches away from being perfect. Lovely play from Sinclair, and I can't tell you how close that is. It's a brilliant effort. He'll get the best angle of a lot. Goes inside, goes to hit it. Lovely back heel, hit that. He does just that, and it curls just a little too late from Celtic's point of view.
But that's Celtic almost setting traps again. It was Christophe Berra who gave up possession in the middle of the pitch, and suddenly that counter-attacking ability that Celtic have posed problems.
Well, Scott Brown just got a boot in the face there. Play on. It's with Forrest. Now Armstrong. McLaughlin with another important save. It's come back off the post. Rogic was in there. And Hearts scramble the ball clear. Pinball in the middle of that area.
Don't quite know what happened there, really. It was all happening for a couple of seconds. But you look at Sinclair, he's got an absolute tap in there. He really has. Robertson, if he just squares it at all with his right foot, Sinclair's got a tap in.
Well, Brown is down again. No, he's enjoying himself. He wouldn't have it any other way.
I've never known someone to enjoy getting kicked as much, isn't it? You know, he's got a smile in his face, but the Hearts players, you're right, I think you said first half, have targeted Scott Brown. 1, to stop him playing, and 2, trying to rough him up a little bit, but doesn't bother him at all. Ado's been booked, so he's got to be careful.
Well, Joachim Adao had real influence in that first half, and he's had a quiet opening 20 minutes of the second period. Patrick Roberts, I hope to get some game time between now and the cup final and try and force his way in. Just note that Joachim Adao has already been booked. James Forrest offside. Smith, it's away by Boyata. Come for Mitchell. Certainly not shy to get forward, as we pointed out. Mitchell's ball in. Naismith got a touch. Lafferty again was offside, and another Hearts attack comes to an end.
I think Callum McGregor's, you know, done away fine in that position, but I think it's safe to say going forward, Celtic have really missed Tierney in the left back position. I mean, the young man's a class operator, and as I say, as well as McGregor's done there, I think Celtic have missed Tierney.
He's such a driving force, Tierney, isn't he? You know, for someone so young, the energy he gives, the quality he gives on that left-hand side for Celtic, I think he just gives the team a completely different dimension than what, you know, than what they've got today.
Celtic have won 7 of the last 9 here. Their record at Tynecastle is very good. A 32-point gap between them and Hearts. Hearts will be looking on Wednesday night to try and close the 20-point gap to Hibernian. Comes from Armstrong, sliced by Naismith, and McLaughlin had to come out to deny Boyata. Well, Kieran Tierney, party time for him. In amongst the Celtic support, as he naturally does. He's a season ticket holder as a kid, and he really is a fan's favourite. Celtic through and through. Sinclair to Forrest.
And now Celtic are in control. You know, they're the ones moving the ball well. Hearts are not getting close. Hearts are arriving when the ball's already there. They're just a wee step off, a yard off from where they were in the first half. Celtic are now well in their rhythm and dominating the game.
It's with Rogic. Just a slip on the turf from Scott Sinclair. Allowed Michael Smith in. Callahan, Nadeau. To try and get Hearts going again. Brown to Rogic. Just goes past players with such ease. Mitchell now for Callahan. McLaughlin and Lafferty the target. He's not causing the problems that he did in the first half, Kyle Lafferty.
No, they're going to have to change something, you know, whether it's change of shape, whether it's change of personnel. Something has to be different, because at the minute they're not making any real inroads. This is where Craig will earn his money today. Can he do something that can get Hearts back into the game?
Just not get the same energy that they had in the first half, which we spoke about. It'd be interesting to see if they could maintain it the way Hibs did against Celtic.
Young man, it's just on your screens, could be the one to do it. 17-year-old Harry Cochrane. Lafferty, nothing giving. Goes Suter. Brown now for Sinclair. McGregor. Now Olivier Cham to stop Brown. With a searching ball for Sinclair, should be Michael Smith's to deal with, and is.
He's done all right, you know, for 70 minutes under a lot of pressure. Smith, I thought he's handled it quite well. He's handled the physicality of Edouard probably as well as he would have expected, and he's tried to get forward.
Header. Just late contact on the Hearts captain. It will be the change that sees Harry Cochrane come on. He really made a name for himself back in that game in December when Hearts triumphed 4-0 to end the long 69-game unbeaten run. He was stretching to hold on.
Couldn't generate any power, could he? Good one across. Shooter does well, we just cannot generate enough power.
Well, there was Harry Cochrane, and then what went on post-match with
Almost looking at the Hearts side and thinking Kyle Lafferty was some sort of pass.
Ladbrokes SPFL highlights programme is on your screens tomorrow from 6:45, and following that one, Dundee United against Livingston, as those two look to battle their way through the playoffs and come back up into the Premiership.
John Surrow, lucky man.
It's just gingerly getting back to his feet. 75 minutes out of the Australian. Doesn't always happen when he starts. Now Cham looking to conjure something up for Celtic here. Olivier Cham clipped in towards Lustig, easily dealt with by the Hearts defence. Now McLaughlin short of options here.
Well, he wasn't earlier on. He should have cleared it straight away because it was a 2v2. He's delayed it.
Hearts need to get that tempo back into the first half that they had. And they've got a big one on Wednesday evening. Heart of Midlothian against Hibernian from 7:15 BT Sport 1 HD. And then Hibs finish the campaign against Rangers next Sunday from midday on BT Sport 1 HD. Final game of the Scottish Premiership season. Hearts will be down in Kilmarnock that day. Without Christophe Berra for the first time this season. He's suspended along with Michael Smith. Berra has played every minute of the Premiership season. Hearts Players Player and Fans Player of the Year. Recently awarded at club's season awards do. Lafferty still on the deck as Ayer bursts forward down the right-hand side. Still going. Eventually, Berra halts the Norwegian. Lafferty still awaits some attention.
It was a poor touch that allowed the challenge. I think he should have played it first time. Worrying thing for Lafferty as he signals to the bench immediately. But I think when Mitchell broke forward and played it into Lafferty, he was looking for the return ball immediately, he didn't get it, and that's where the tackle came in.
Craig Levein wants to keep a hold of his top scorer. There are reinforcements coming in. He's been busy and will continue to be busy in the transfer window. Stephen McLean, who scored a hat-trick yesterday, is one to be joining Hearts. Patrick Roberts looks like he'll be coming on for the final 11 minutes or so. Ewan Henderson, who started the last game up at Tawdry, he's been ready to come on. McLaughlin out to carry on this near side touchline, and he's being hounded by Scott Sinclair. Carey desperately looking for options.
It's a horrible ball, isn't it?
He doesn't want it.
He's facing his own goal. He's under pressure from Scott Sinclair, and the goalkeeper rolls him one.
It's the last
a
thing
little bit short.
Boyata, Naismith. It's for Callahan. Lustig away. Chested down by McGregor, who gets it back from Ncham. Smith beats Sinclair to the ball, but again being closed down. Forrest. And Rogic straight to McLaughlin.
That's a chance for him. That's a real chance for somebody of his quality, I've got to say.
just looks more likely that the next goal will come from Celtic, doesn't it, really? You know, you'd expect the home side to push a little bit more, but maybe they've just run the race and they're fatigued.
Well, having a go here, and Manquat. Cowie to Cochrane. Calls Bain off his line.
Do you know something, actually? I don't think it's a bad ball. I think somebody should be making their way across the front post area. He's tried to whip it in with pace. I think somebody should be moving back to front to get across.
I think she got that from Mikael Lustig. Bain out to Mikael Lustig. Patrick Roberts will be coming on. Short time for the Manchester City loanee to come on. Tom Rogic will be the one to make way. It was Rogic's pass that opened the play up for Moussa Dembele, who's also gone off, and he netted the goal that has Celtic in front.
Doesn't get any easier for Hearts, does it? Patrick Roberts coming on, terrific.
Well, Ewan Henderson is just having to wait because Hearts bench are monitoring the progress of John Souttar, who appears to have taken a bit of a knock. Berra up towards Manquat. Lafferty did well. Callahan just couldn't quite connect.
You're right, Ali, what you said earlier on about, you know, Celtic managing the game. You know, that's a great quality to have, where you can almost slow the game down, you can move the ball and almost suck the energy from Hearts. That's what's happened. Of course, the players are a little bit tired, but the way Celtic have played, they've managed the game so well, and they've almost just took the bite away from Hearts.
Brown for Roberts. Scored 4 goals in 5 games against Hearts. Well, they have made the call. John Souttar will continue, so Ewan Henderson can come on, and it will be Kyle Lafferty who makes way. Got the scoring started here. The game has since turned. Roberts.
It's brilliant from Roberts, it really is. It's brilliant. Creating the opening there for James Forrest. It's a wonderful little piece of skill. Here we are. Have some of this. Lovely. Creates the opening. James Forrest again, not for the first time, just gets it caught in between his feet a little bit.
You just wonder with the lack of game time for Patrick Roberts, would that make his mind up if Celtic came into Bayern? You know, he might think, I might not get enough game time, I might not play, so I want to go somewhere and play next season, you would think.
Certainly come into his thinking, I would think, Stephen.
He's a player that gets supporters off his feet, Patrick Roberts, but it's just his 18th appearance of the season. He has had a problem with his hamstring.
Is that just in the league, Ronnie, or is that 18 appearances?
Total.
Total, yeah. That isn't a lot for a player of his calibre.
He hasn't been able to displace James Forrest once he has been back to fitness. There's Brown on Harry Cochrane. I thought there might be a meeting of those two.
That's the master against the novice, isn't it? This is how you do it, son.
He's back up on his feet. There's Cochrane. Berra. He could direct it back across goal. Time just winding down for Hearts here.
can see now, you know, why Craig Levein needs to make changes in the summer. Just need to bring players on who can hurt the opposition, where like Craig spoke about needing pace in his team as well, and this is exactly what they need, don't they? A little bit of creativity, a little bit of guile, and some pace to go and hurt people.
He's talked of needing 7 to 10 new players. Stephen Naismith yet to sort out his future. He's got another year to run on his Norwich City contract. Armstrong gives it straight to Cowie, turned away from Cham.
I don't quite know what Armstrong saw there.
Brendan put his head in his hands.
Sinclair now in Cham. Henderson trying to win the ball back for Hearts, but it's not easy to outmuscle Olivier and Cham. And Mankwa has it back though from Roberts. Naismith. Henderson. Well watched by Boyata. Timed it perfectly. Now Roberts. And Armstrong on the run. Cochrane to Naismith. Back to Cochrane. Cowie just had to check back. Suter has to go all the way back. That will just further frustrate the home crowd who had so much belief at half-time. That's Celtic. Pass for pass. Mankwa spreads it out to Cowie. Brown's clearance. Berra's well advanced. So too Mitchell, but Roberts has won it back. Smith. Cochrane. Suter's the last man back for Hearts. Berra looks like he may spend the rest of the game in a forward position. Still there for Cochrane. Berra playing as a left winger for now. Naismith and Brown collide once more. Here is Naismith, and hammered clear by Olivier and Cham. Man on is the call for John Suter. Smith gets the run from Henderson and forces Boyata to clear, and Tynecastle rises once again.
It's just one last big push for Hearts, isn't it, as we see the perpetrators coming together yet again. But one last long throw. Can Christophe Berra win the first header? Can Hearts get in the end of it to try and salvage something? There's the Three Stooges.
Sure he is enjoying himself. Long throw comes in, and Mankwa the target. Cochrane to Henderson, and Mankwa just wouldn't fall for Hearts. Cowie to Smith, and Hearts will have a corner kick.
There's one part of the game where both sides haven't excelled today. It's been defending set play.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Hearts will feel they have a chance, but Celtic will want to make first contact on this ball.
And it comes. Berra was there, so too Henderson. There was a half chance as it flashed across goal. Smith. Cowie. It's well blocked off by Armstrong. It'll be 5 minutes of additional time. Well, Mitchell was given a second chance at that from Cham. Now here goes Roberts. Wonderful ball. A shot from Armstrong. Goes straight forward from McLaughlin.
Sinclair is livid, lads, honestly. Again, for the second time, he's standing in the middle of the goal. He's got an easy tap in, and Armstrong chooses the wrong option for me.
It's a great run and a great pass, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's Scott Sinclair. Apoplectic, he didn't get a ball.
He's not scored for so long, Scott Sinclair, desperate to back amongst the goals. That would have been the goal that made the point certain. For now, though, Celtic have a few more minutes to hang on to this 2-1 lead. The Hearts are going to throw everything at it. Berra. Boyata was there. Time to throw everything forward. McLaughlin. Ayer won it from Naismith. Here's Mitchell. Naismith has it again. 4 in advance of him. It's out to Cowie. Berra's at the back post, wins it, but can only head the ball to Scott Bain, who will gratefully eat up a few more seconds.
Good ball to the back post from Cowie there, and initially Berra did well holding Lustig off, but I felt he should have done better with the header once he did that part of it.
Forrest takes it down. Forward from Suter. Manqua was offside. Ayer was waiting for the flag.
It's a little bit lazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
He starts offside and then makes the run and tries to complain.
Do you know what he should have done, Stephen? He should have come round the front of the defender and make the run in behind them.
Certainly a victory that Celtic have had to work for. Has not come all their way. Kyle Lafferty gave Hearts the lead. Boyata levelled things up, and then delightful pass from Rogic set up Moussa Dembele, who made no mistake. This is Armstrong, though, to finish it for Scott Sinclair. Michael Smith couldn't keep it out, and Celtic have the swagger of champions again. The points are safe now.
Well, you were obviously listening to our commentary, Stephen. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Great play here on the right-hand side, I've got to say. He does ever so well, Armstrong. And then a brilliant layback, and the easiest of tasks for Scott Sinclair. Naturally, the defender goes back to defend the goal. Sinclair just holds his ground, as you can see. And for this time, and the correct time, the pass is picked out. Game over.
It's brilliant from Armstrong, isn't it? You know, he's came onto the pitch, he's been sloppy at some times, he showed some good moments. And Kieran Tierney, Celtic's best player and Celtic's biggest fan. He enjoyed that from Scott Sinclair, but huge pat in the back for Stuart Armstrong for his part in it.
Well, Scott Sinclair will be delighted. He hadn't scored since penalty against Partick Thistle in January. 16 games without finding the back of the net.
But isn't it amazing, Rory, you were saying he's got a good record here, and some players certainly like to go to certain grounds. Scott Sinclair was suggesting Joyce coming to Tynecastle.
Well, 8 in 8 appearances. Remember that debut 20 minutes in, and he got the late winner here.